Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. The temperature in Kandal village in Tamil Nadu has hit almost zero, which locals said is unusual and never heard of so far. The hilly Nilgiri district in the west of the state has a cool climate throughout the year, but temperatures so low have surprised the local people. Residents and environmental activists are worried over the relatively unseasonal cold that has gripped the mountainous region. Tea plantation is a large-scale activity in the hills, and the unusual climate change has set off concerns among the plantation workers. The district is home to India's famous hill station, Ooty, a popular destination for honeymooners and those seeking a break from routine life. Pakistan launched retaliatory strikes on Iran, a day after Iran fired missiles into its border province of Balochistan. Pakistan military reportedly struck bases of two Baloch separatist groups, the Balochistan Liberation Front and the Balochistan Liberation Army. A source close to the security services confirmed that anti-Pakistan militant groups inside Iran were targeted in the attacks. On Wednesday, Iran targeted blacklisted militant groups based on Pakistan soil. Tehran blamed them for the suicide blasts in Iran earlier this month, which killed more than 90 people near a cemetery. The attacks come amid concerns of a widening conflict seen as a fallout of fighting between Israel and Hamas militants, which began 4 months ago and caused widespread destruction in Gaza. Private carrier Indigo has been hit with a fine of 1.2 crore rupees after a viral video showed its passengers eating on the tarmac. The incident happened in Mumbai as passengers waited for their delayed flight to take off. India's aviation regulator DGCA ordered Mumbai airport to pay a fine of 30 lakh rupees for the violation. The fines followed after the regulator issued notices to the airline and the airport authorities. Air India and SpiceJet were also fined for poor preparedness to handle fog and low visibility conditions. Both private carriers were ordered to pay 30 lakh rupees each. Hundreds of flights have been hit since the onset of winter as extreme weather caused widespread disruption to air travel in Delhi and across northern India. Passengers faced difficulty at the New Delhi railway station as several trains ran late due to cold waves. A total of 18 trains to Delhi from various parts of the country are running late due to dense fog conditions. Meanwhile, there have been no signs of a weakening of the cold wave as dense fog engulfs vast swaths of North India. The Weather Office said the maximum and minimum temperatures will hover between 18 and 5 degrees Celsius. The transport systems in North India have been severely affected by the freezing conditions. Normal life was also hit in the past month due to fog and reduced visibility in major cities in the region, including Amritsar and Jaipur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi released commemorative postage stamps on Ram Temple and congratulated Ram devotees in India and around the world. The release included 6 commemorative stamps and a 48-page album of stamps on Hindu god Ram. Reports said the number of devotees visiting Ayodhya town has doubled, and donations for the temple have run into crores of rupees. Ayodhya is under tight security, where Modi will arrive on Sunday. Various units of the security forces have been deployed across the town. The measures include anti-drone systems, surveillance cameras, and barcoding systems. Security was also increased in parts of the country as part of preparations for the Grand Temple event and the annual Republic Day parade in Delhi the same week. Religious fervor has gripped Ayodhya town ahead of the consecration ceremony of the Ram temple next week. The town is all decked up for the auspicious ceremony. The Surya pillars have dazzled the road leading to the Ram Mandir as priests performed rituals at the site. On Wednesday, a truck carrying Lord Ram's idol reached the temple premises amid religious chants. Formal religious procedures for the inauguration started on Tuesday and will continue till Sunday. The final rituals of the consecration ceremony will be held shortly after 12 noon on Monday. Thousands of people from India and other countries are on the guest list for the event, and a multi-layer security is in place for the event. In a crackdown on the misuse of antibiotics, the Indian government has made it mandatory for doctors to clearly indicate the reason for prescribing the drugs. The Directorate General of Health Services also urged pharmacies to provide antibiotics to people only on prescription by a doctor. Reports said the order, signed by its director, was issued to doctors, medical colleges and associations, and pharmacists across the country. Reports said overprescription of antibiotics, which leads to antimicrobial resistance or AMR, is one of the top 10 public health threats listed by the World Health Organization. According to medical authorities, AMR was directly responsible for millions of deaths worldwide in 2019 and 4.95 million deaths were associated with drug-resistant infections. Reports say the Indian Navy has responded to a distress call after a cargo ship came under a drone attack in the Gulf of Aden. The ship, Vishakhapatnam, which was on anti-piracy patrol in the region, is at the scene of the attack and providing assistance. The Navy said 9 of the 22 crew on Genco Picardy were Indians, and there were no casualties. Earlier this month, the Navy made an airborne interception of a Liberian-flagged vessel in the Arabian Sea and freed the crew after it called for help. The Navy has stepped up its operations in the Arabian Sea with a deployment of more than 3 frigates to protect commercial shipping, which faces increasing threats from pirates. A cabinet minister in Singapore has been charged with corruption, a rare case in the country, which prides itself of the cleanest government in the world. Subramaniam Iswaran, who resigned on Thursday, pleaded not guilty to 27 charges. One of them was obtaining gratification as a public servant. He was responsible for overseeing Singapore's tourism industry when the Formula One Grand Prix made its debut in the country. The minister said he would give back his salary and allowances received since his arrest in July last year. Reports said lawmakers in Singapore are the highest paid in the world, with salaries starting at 45,000 Singapore dollars per month. The high salaries were justified, saying it will prevent corruption among government servants. The US has launched a 4th round of strikes on rebels in Yemen, who are backed by Iran. The Defense Department said 14 missiles, which the rebels aimed at ships in the Red Sea, were targeted in the strikes. The U.S. Middle East Command said Navy ships fired Tomahawk missiles at rebel sites as they were designated as global terrorists. The rebels started attacking merchant vessels in November and said they were responding to Israel's military operation in Gaza. Since then, the rebels fired dozens of missiles on tankers sailing in the Red Sea, which is one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Many major shipping companies have halted or diverted their vessels away from the route as a precaution. Speaking on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, head of Russia Department at Center for Eastern Studies has said that it is not a territorial conflict, rather it is a goal of Russia to fully subjugate Ukraine as a state. Marek Menkizak stressed, Russian strategy is basically to restore the control of our so-called post-Soviet area, which Russia considers its natural sphere of influence. He explained the first element of the plan was to restore fully that control with a quick operation which was supposed to last about 2 weeks. He further said the plan was to change the Ukrainian government into a new pro-Russian government. Last week, a barrage of 40 Russian missiles and drones hit Ukraine in the 4th such attack in less than a month. Reports citing an internal memo said Google has told employees to expect more job cuts this year. According to the report, the CEO of the parent company Alphabet, Sundar Pichai, said that the layoffs will be focused on removing layers to simplify execution and drive velocity in some areas. The move is an indication that job cuts will continue this year as companies look to replace workers with artificial intelligence tools and automate the systems to reduce workloads. Last week, Google said it would lay off employees in its voice assistant units, a section that wasn't performing well. Last January, Alphabet announced plans to cut 12,000 jobs around the world. As of September last year, the company had around 182,000 employees. A ban on 2 models of Apple smartwatches has been reimposed amid legal proceedings in a patent dispute. The company was earlier allowed to sell Series 9 and Ultra 2 watches, but a U.S. appeals court has revoked the decision. The ban also affects imports of the models. Apple has said it will continue to release the watches without the disputed blood oxygen feature. Medical technology company Masimo has said the feature is owned by it, which was copied by Apple. The company also accused the iPhone maker of poaching workers and stealing its technology. The U.S. International Trade Commission said Apple violated patent rights and barred certain imports and sales. Apple said that it strongly disagreed with the Commission's view. Japan will attempt a precision landing of a spacecraft on the moon on Friday to become only the 5th country to do so. Known as the Moon Sniper, the spacecraft will search for water and explore whether humans can live on the moon. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency said the spacecraft will attempt to land within 100 meters of its target. Japan will send an astronaut to the moon as part of the American Artemis program, while space startups in the country compete with regional rival China in space exploration. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.